Hi, this is Sherry. Are we on? Yes, we are. I'm back in Canyon Lake, California, coming at you for Angel's Whisper. I'm trying to find, I'm kind of bobbing along here. I'm trying to find a good spot, tide us up. I've got all these cool things to look at for us. Look at these roots of this tree. This was underwater, and this is what it looks like now. There's just so many things to look at. Remember when we were doing the dock of the bay before and it was like so much higher? Oh my goodness. Okay. So it's really hot in California, which is ridiculous. It's too hot for me, but it's really nice. I'm not complaining. I am kind of complaining, aren't I? But I'm not really, because it's nice for me to be out in my boat, in my canoe, and not be itching like crazy with that poison ivy that I had. I still have, pretty bad scars on my legs. They don't look very sexy, but I'm not scratching myself, so that's good. And I can finally come outside and tan the weird color marks on my arms that have all bleached out. It looks like burn marks. Sometimes you got to get burned to get what you deserve, and I learned a lot of lessons through that experience. So sometimes that's just the way it is. Okay, I have a new deck for us, and I'm super excited. I've been using it with a friend of mine for the last couple of days, and I have not gotten through all the cards yet. So there's a couple that are a surprise for us today. Well, for me, they're new. I love that about a new deck, and when we get them, because I don't know them all, right? And so one by one as they come, I don't know, it's just like opening up a new present for me. This is exciting. So it's an author that you guys know that I love already. It's Lucy Cavendish, and she does the Dragon Fae, and she does the Mermaid deck, and she does the Oracle of the Shadows and Light. And so this one, and I've had it before, but I've given it away as gifts to other people. And you do that, don't you? You get gifts for other people, and you want it for yourself. You always give people things that you want. So this time I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get it for me. So it is Oracle of the Shapeshifters. Can you see this maybe I should go this way. And the reason I got this deck, because I love all of her decks, but I've had shapeshifting happening in my life, and so it was speaking to me. So that's why we got this one. So I'm gonna start off with the first message. And let's see, how can I do this? I think I'm gonna turn us this way so that we don't have an issue. So you guys can see this, I'm sure. Isn't this beautiful? Look at these cards, aren't they gorgeous? I totally resonate with the fox, because the fox is a combination of a cat and a dog at the same time. And the wolf is really big for me in my life. The wolf is my guardian, and I'm part of a wolf pack, but I definitely came in as the cat. So the fox being kind of a combination of both of those animals, it seems, it works for me. Anyway, so Kitsune, I will show you whom to trust, and the number is 2. Everything is happening exactly as it is meant. So you see this beautiful geisha. That's another thing. There's something about geishas that I keep seeing. I'm not understanding quite yet what that is, but I'm going to tell you guys that so I keep it in mind for later. So it looks like we're going into the fall season with the fall colors that I was just witnessing in Wisconsin, right? And she's got her little trusty fox in front of her. And basically what's going on is, it's talking about people that are asking you to trust them. People are saying, I love you. Some people are, seeking, they want what you possess. And at this moment, you're not really quite certain, who to trust and who not to trust at this point, unfortunately. And what they're saying is they're going to bring you forward someone. This is this little Kitsune. This is a little person that's going to come along. It's like a familiar, and she's going to help you to see who truthfully is your friend, and who's there to falsely sell you something of no worth, or try to steal aspects of your own energy or your personality or your destiny. There's things, people do that, unfortunately. People aren't always coming at you with the highest of integrity, and they're not always coming at you in the light. There's a lot of darker energy vampires. So this little one is going to help you figure out who it is that you can trust at this time. And the gifts that you have need to be protected, is what they're telling you. Because there are some that are wanting to deceive you, or there's some that are wanting to manipulate you. That's what I was getting with poison ivy. I've had that happening to me. This whole trip back to Wisconsin was all about, figuring out who's a true friend and who's a false friend. And so this little Kitsune, this is an energy that's going to come along and help you figure out who it is that you can trust. So I like this. I welcome this myself. She's never going to advise you to be, oh yeah, love that. 2 crows, walk your walk, talk your talk. Love that. A pair of them. Nice. Coming from the void, like that. We've got support all around us. Oh, I forgot about our animal totem. I'll do that after this card. I'll stop and I'll do the animal totem. So she's never going to ask you to be false. She's never going to ask you to be different than who you truly are. But she's gonna help you figure out who these people that are coming towards you, and you can pay attention to who your little who this one in your life, this energetic form in your life is, this Kitsune in your life. They're telling you it may appear in the, you know, because of the colors. I'll show you. Someone with the colors of a fox, this reddish brown color. So now that's another thing that might cause you kind of concern. You might be thinking, oh, well, you know, which one? You need to figure this out, but they're going to give you clues. Somebody that has like reddish brown hair, the color of the fox, reddish hair, auburn. They may appear like a stranger. They may appear, you may just bump into somebody. Whatever it is, they're going to be there, and they're going to show up, and you're going to, basically, you're going to possibly come upon a series of coincidences that are going to, you know, reveal information, which will tell you what is the best action for you to take, whom you can trust in the particular situation, you know, where it's best to invest your energy, your money, your efforts. You're going to get that information. You're not going to have to go looking. They're coming. They're there for you. You may notice something in your peripheral vision. I was at my girlfriend Erica's factory. She has an old cheese factory in Wisconsin, and we kept seeing lights out of the corner of our eyes. And they're saying you may see a red gold movement. And that's the energy of the Kitsune. There's all kinds of signs that she's there to help you. It could be, as I said, it could come in a human form. It could come in the form of an animal. It could come in the form of an orange cat, a ginger cat, which is interesting because Erica had one outside her front door when she came home after having to put her dog down, and she said, was he there on purpose? And I said, yes. They suddenly appear in your life, you know, or you're going to bump back into somebody maybe that you know, or you're going to be drawn to somebody that you know that has this color, reddish brown or hair. That's my hair color. So what they're going to do is you're going to notice the behavior of this person. If it's an animal, they'll be sniffing in the air. They're going to be very alert. They are, there's going to be like sudden action, sudden movement. So again, if you're talking about a person, I'm going to move us a little bit. Talking about a person, this would be somebody who's a quick mover, quick talker, somebody who asks a lot of questions that you might feel might be a little bit personal, but this person is there for you. This is somebody that you can trust, and she's absolutely true to you in all ways, is what they're telling you. When you look at a Kitsune, if it's an animal or just an energetic form, like Erica and I felt, you know, the energy that we saw moving around, they're mischievous, they're sly, they're sneaky, they're quick, they're fun. The energy, it's a very fast-moving, positive, cheeky energy. Sorry. I got to get us to a place where we're not like rocking. There we go. Alrighty, so that's the first message that we have. Kitsune. I like that. She was cute. The next message, I'm very into the next message myself because I've spoken about this before. Oh wait, before we do that, I'm going to talk to you about the totem. And I don't even see any right now out here. They just flew by. But the cormorant. The cormorant came to my mind as I was rowing out here because there's so many cormorants here. And a cormorant is a bird who is they're found in lakes or water areas. That's why they're out here. I mean, if they're out here, it's got to be a lake out here because they're water birds. And they're known for diving down for their fish. They go down deep under the water, and they're very, very naturally buoyant. So they're showing you that you are able to float above your emotional water successfully. And when they have to dive down, they have to swallow a pebble that's going to that'll weigh them down because they're so naturally buoyant. They pop back up to the surface. So this is telling you that there is some kind of a circumstance in your life that is an opportunity or a circumstance in your life that's going to require you to dive down deep. And you are going to be able to do this. You're going to be able to handle this. Dive down under your emotional waters and get to what it is that you need. My mind is like going on different things. I'm seeing fish jumping. Fish, you know, same thing. Fish are talking about traversing your emotional waters, and they're also talking about astral waters. This is a time where you will have prophetic visions or prophetic dreams. Your clairaudience and clairsentience will be heightened at this time. I just keep seeing fish jumping to the surface. So those are the messages that I was going to give you for the totems. That right now I'm sorry, I should have gone to it right away because it fled my mind. Cormorant. What else about the cormorant? It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. Probably when we're doing the reading. And the coot. That's a mud hen. And see this grass here? Remember? I called it seagrass before. You guys probably laughed because you're like, this isn't the sea, it's the lake. Same thing when I'm in Wisconsin. I'm constantly thinking it's a sea, it's the ocean. But they are eating this grass. Because, and look, it's broken up quite a bit. They've been doing a good job of it. And the message, the fact that they just spoke there is saying that there are some things that you need to get rid of before you can move forward. So what is it? What emotional issues or what issues are not finished at this point that you need to dispose of before you can start moving forward to manifest the dreams and things that you're wanting to work on right now? That's their message. So we got a few little totems in there. Okay, so Artemis of the forest. I love this because I'm very, very connected to Artemis in the forest. And what she's saying is you are independent, now you are independent and free. And she's got her stag and she's got the deer. I look at the deer and I think, never mistake a gentleman for a weak man. And the stag is the protector. So she's got both of them working with her. Okay. I'm watching the other birds dive down under their emotional waters. Interesting. I'm going to let you guys look around because this is so incredibly beautiful. So basically what they're saying is it's time now to go into the forest, go into a wilderness of some sort, a wild place, a place, whether this is you inside of yourself or whether this is literally out into the forest, they're telling you it's time for you to become self-reliant. You need to be quiet, stealthy, and aware. You need to basically show yourself as a person who can survive and support yourself. You know, you may be feeling it's a test of you, and it is, and you may be feeling like it's a hardship. But it's teaching you to survive. You've got what it takes. And they're basically saying you've got all the ammunition and everything at your disposal. It's interesting to me because I am not a hunter and I don't like the idea of hunting. So I feel that this is emotional armor that they're speaking about. They're telling you that you have your quiver and your bow and you have to go out and hunt. Now, that would be to search, right? That would be to look for and find for yourself. It's not going to come just... Ooh. It's not going to come knocking on your door. It's just like God helps those who help themselves. I feel a lot of this message is symbolic. I'm not saying that it has to do with literally hunting because I can't imagine Spirit is asking us to go out and hunt these beautiful buck and deer. There's no way. So that's my take on it anyway, and I'm not going to entertain any other discussion on that. I'm just not, because I don't believe that that's the message. So they're just saying basically you have to go out into and act kind of like the way a hunter would. Leave no tracks. Be quiet. You've got the moon that's going to light your way. Now the moon is talking about the divine goddess energy, right? The feminine energy inside of you. So you've got that, and it's also intuition. The moon talks about your higher self and communing with spirit. So you've got that to guide you. So they're telling you. So see, this is definitely prophetic. They're telling you that you have this for guidance. And you're at this time they're saying you may have to grow your own food. You may have to do without maybe a little bit. Like that's why they're saying you may feel it's a little bit of a hardship, but you have to understand that that's confirmation. So you may feel it's a bit of a hardship at this time, but it's going to help you be strong, and you've got what you need. And when you do this, when you go out and you have the moon, as I said, with you, and you've got the beautiful doe guiding you as well. And when you go out and you assert your independence this way, you will draw to you the king stag. So I believe that this is symbolic, but it's also a way of speaking of relationships, because I work with people with love relationships, you know, all day long with my other job. And I always tell them, you know, Spirit wants you to take care of yourself first and get yourself established on your own 2 feet and being independent. And when that happens, he will draw to you your counterpart. So this is what they're saying here. The king stag, he will come to you. This positive masculine energy is going to be drawn to you. You don't have to go exploiting yourself, or you don't have to go in search of this one. And you don't have to trap him. He's going to come to you. You know, there's a lot of people that feel like they dress themselves up and they act a certain way, and it's really not even who they are, but it's a way to get somebody, and then they become who they are, and it's a disaster. So you are to be yourself. You are to be your own independent self. You're true in standing your integrity, and you will draw to you. Kind of like, you know, your vibe draws your tribe. And this is when you will know a good father, you will find a true man. They call him a wild, intense boyfriend. Like that. Ooh. A caretaker, a gentleman. And this is a time when this one will come to help take care of you for a while, because you've been taking care of everybody, it feels like. So again, to sum it up, back to basics for a time. This is a test for you. To go without the luxuries maybe that you have had previously, that you felt that you needed. You're about to discover that you can take care of yourself. You can remain, true and gentle as the deer, and yet you're going to be wild and free as Artemis. I love Artemis. Ooh, I love her. So at this time, you're supposed to keep all of your tools sharp. Now it's interesting. I know this is metaphorical because they're saying keep your tools sharp, your bow, your arrow, the blades sharp. But your tools, what are your gifts? What are your tools that you have? What are your thinking abilities? What are your creative abilities? What are the things that Spirit has given to you? What are your specific talents? You're going to keep these sharp. You're going to stay on top of things. You're going to pay attention. You're going to listen to your higher self and to the guidance that you get. And you're going to know what to do next. You're not going to waste anything. Your senses are going to be alert, and the forest is going to keep you alive for a time. So literally, you may be going in, as I said, into a forest area. It may be a time that you need to pull away from all of this, from all of the hustle and bustle. It doesn't look like a hustle and bustle where I'm sitting, but it's very much hustle and bustle in California. So it talks about going off into more of a wilderness area, which I like. I love the idea of that. I'm all up for that. And they're basically saying what they want you to do is address the fundamentals of your life. Look at who and at what provides them to you, and take steps to cultivate the relationships with the people that you need at this time, but in a positive way. You're not going to use people, but you need to cultivate proper relationships with ones who work for you, ones that are going to help you along on your path, like-minded ones. And this is all about food, clothing, shelter, healing. It's very empowering, this going out and becoming a hunter. You're going to go look for this. You're going to go in search of this. You're going to draw this to you. You're not going to go in search of the people. You're going to go in search of your own true path. You're going out there, and then it will be drawn to you. But you're going to be taught how to make connections. You're going to have people brought to you, and you're going to have to use your brain. Figure out who's the true friend, who's the not, who's using you, who's going to help you. So you help one another. I keep thinking kind of like it's like a communal living, kind of, if you're in a, what are they, maybe used to call those communes, when people used to all live together. So it's everybody helping one another, but you're going to recognize the true friend against the ones who before, probably in the area where you were more in a luxurious area, that were using you. They weren't true friends. So this is going to be liberating. It's going to be, a challenge. But once you've done this, you're going to be protected and you're going to be cared for, and by these ones that you connect with, and then possibly, as was brought forward, Artemis. If you're a man, if you are the hunter, if you are the masculine stag, the king stag, Artemis will be drawn to you, the doe. And if you are the doe that's doing this and standing on your own, you will have the king stag brought to you. So you're bringing to you a provider and a protector, and likewise for both of you, for each other. Somebody who's inspired by your independence and your strength, And I put a post up a while ago about, a strong man isn't afraid of a strong woman. Why would they be? They would be drawing to themselves someone as them, right? If you are an enlightened being, you're not afraid of a strong woman, because that's in line with who you are. And it's vice versa. You're going to have a man that's very strong, and you're going to, and it's not just necessarily strong in the physical. Oops, I'm dropping everything. But it's strong in the spiritual way, spiritual connection. This is going to be somebody who's going to be very helpful to you because you've drawn your counterpart to you. Okay, I'm going to let you guys look out while I figure out. I don't want to get these cards wet. I love these cards, and I don't want to ruin them. So I'm going to put them in my bag one by one as I use them until we get the next one. Okay, the next message: the Mermaid of Immersion, complete commitment. And you see, look at this little dory fish. Love that. Ooh, and there's Nemo. A couple of Nemos around there. So these guys are best friends. You see this little girl. She looks very determined, doesn't she? The number's 44. Angel's with you. all around you, everywhere. You're completely guided, protected, and loved. There is no reason for fear. So, for the Mermaid Immersion, she's talking about complete commitment. So there's something in your life that you are hesitating on. Something that you have been putting off, something that you have been starting to say that you were going to do. You know you want to do it, but for some reason you're delaying. Why are you delaying? At this time they're asking, ooh, I dropped my card. At this time they're asking for you to stop the delay and move forward with what it is that you have wanted. Sorry, I've got like spider webs, all kinds of stuff in me. So they're telling you, yeah, so you've been putting off something. What is it that you have been putting off at this time? Take a look at it. It's time to completely involve yourselves. What have you been holding back on? Is it a new project or a commitment to yourself? You're always pulling back at the last minute, you know, from taking the next step. Oh yeah, I just got to do this. But then you don't do it. Why are you not doing it? Why are you hesitating at this time? You know, what's going on? You need to examine what's going on. You're holding part of yourself back. You know, you're watching, you're judging, you're always assessing whether, is it right? Should I do this? You know, you're surrounding yourself with what you think is protection. But really what it is it's a buffer zone. You know, you're keeping yourself safe. Spirit doesn't want us to keep safe. They like us to take a leap of faith. So what you want is you need to do what you're claiming. You say you want things to change. You want something different in your life, but you're not doing it. So stop claiming what you wish to understand. Claim it. You know? Do what it is that you're saying. It's time to take a breath. Oh, and dive down deep like the cormorant, right? Go underneath. Go underneath and see what the truth of what has happened in your life. Surround yourself with anything and anybody and only the ones and only the things that support your change. And finally, the truth that you have been claiming for will be yours. Claiming to want. You know, you're claiming to reach for this. You know, the time of planning and procrastinating and making excuses for holding up or you know, that's done. That's done. Your soul has asked you to do this, but you continually are wasting your time and you're frittering away your time. And time is precious. Time marches on, you know? We don't always have the opportunities in front of us. I've been telling everyone that there's a time right now. This is a time of endings and new beginnings, but there's a window. There's a window. See, I could strangle myself. You could strangle yourself. You could miss your lead. There's a window of opportunity, and if you don't take this window of opportunity, it's not going to come around for a while. Sometimes we have a deadline, and Spirit is saying, you've come against your own deadline. It's time now. What they're telling you is, this is actually fear. It's fear masquerading as something different. You know, I'm thinking about this poison ivy right now because I'm thinking about the fact that Poison Ivy was a redhead, you know, in that comic book. And I was shown that she was a redhead when she was coming, and she said, you know, you're going to be attacked by Poison Ivy. And so it's, you've got two different redheads, right? You've got the Kinyut, and the energy, the feminine energy that's coming, that's going to be a true friend and protector, and someone that's that has your best interest in heart. And then you've got this one that is the opposite. And I keep thinking about this old poisons, you know, old thoughts, old toxic energy, and you need to release it. And you're the only one that can do it. You're the only one that can stick to, see, like the coot said, what is the garbage that you haven't figured out? What have you not thrown out? Tomorrow night, we have the super full moon. It's the largest full moon, the brightest full moon until 2034. It's super moon. And people say, oh, there's so many super moons. But there won't be another one this large and this bright till the year 2034. So think about the energy of the full moon, how it's able to pull the tide. It pulls our emotions. That's why there's babies born on full moons. That's why, you know, people do crazy things. There's murders. There's all kinds of movement because it's very, very emotional. So this is the time, and the full moon is always the time to let go of what it is that's not working. Let go of it, of what is in your life that's causing you difficulty. And this is the time to do it. So use the opportunity that you've got in front of you right now. Use this super full moon to let go of what it is that you are holding on to. These old thoughts, these old toxic energies, these old toxic people, circumstances in your life, friendships that are not working for you. This is a time for you to let it go, cut it free. And they want you to dive down deep, like the cormorant, dive down deep into your emotional waters. And when you return, everything's going to be changed. Everything is going to be rearranged in a positive way. It's kind of like what is it, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, you know, the what is that thing, a twister that goes up and it twists everything around, and when it sets everything, the house back down, everything is back in a different kind of organized manner. They say that spirit, you know, a lot of times things that look like it's chaos in our life is actually spirit rearranging things. Okay, I've got one more, and I thought I dropped it on the ground. I don't know what I did with my other one. Walk your walk, talk your talk, they're all saying. Okay, so our last one, this one's interesting to me because I was trying to figure out what this meant. Little brother, little sister. Now you see her, she doesn't look really happy. And she's got these two little dragons. I guess she's babysitting these two little dragons. Younger friends, siblings, responsibility. Okay, so it's talking about there might be little ones that you're having to care for at this time who seem to need more, you know, more energy required of you than you do, you know. And when you have to take care of I was never into taking care of little kids. I wasn't one of those people who was interested in holding somebody's baby. It just wasn't my thing. I just, you know a lot of young girls like babysitting. I was not into that. That wasn't my thing. I'd rather be with animals. So when you've got a younger one to take care of, it's, you know, it can be a chore. To me, it was a huge chore. My little sister was 7 years younger than me, and she had to go everywhere I went, and it was a pain in my butt. But that was my responsibility. So they're saying at this time, you might have little ones that are not as experienced, that are leaning on you. Now, this could be physical children, younger siblings or cousins or nephew or niece or somebody else's child. I'm not quite sure what it is. But as I was driving along in the car, I was thinking about this message because I thought, I don't have anything like that, so what is it referring to? But they're also saying that it could be animals. You could have a small pet that you're having to take care of, or someone else